as we continue to fight Trumponomics, as we continue to fight Trump's despotic behavior, the important thing is that we are fighting. We are not sitting and doing nothing every single moment. And my information is at many levels, a lot of which I can share, a lot of which I can't. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to come tonight and assure you that we are not sitting and doing nothing. We are fighting the unfair policies of Donald Trump. And we are doing it in many ways. Today, we are in a position as we fight where the Ministry of External Affairs issues a statement on the US-EU hypocrisy. We're the only nation in the world of significance which is clearly coming and saying that the EU and US are hypocritical. We're giving factual counters to every allegation alleged on us by Trump. We are fighting every minute. If you're watching this, please pass the video on to everyone else who needs to know that we are in the thick of a battle and we are very actively in a place where we can say out loud tonight that we are a major economy. Please understand, India is a major economy. We may be 4 trillion today, we'll be 10 trillion tomorrow. We know our future, and we are saying clearly that we will do everything possible to protect our interests. Where we are saying clearly to the world, do not have any dispute. We will be safeguarding national interest. And Narendra Modi had a very long call with Vladimir Putin today, where I can share with you that both the leaders sat together and they reviewed the progress of our bilateral agenda. Of course, on record, it will be said that this discussion was about the developments in Ukraine. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the same Ukraine war that Trump has been dreaming to resolve, but to no avail. But when these two world leaders speak, and when they come together, China takes note, America takes note, and Narendra Modi also had a very long phone call with Brazil's President Lula, who is also very angry with Trump. And Brazil's President Lula and Prime Minister Modi discussed America's 50% tariffs and their growing bilateral trade strategy. That's why I'm saying this tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at every minute that you're watching this broadcast. Our government, your government, is working 24/7 to counterbalance the impact of Trump's 50% and more tariffs, and yet is aware that even if there's a hit, the government is working 24/7 to make sure that you are not hit. Viewers, Modi will be traveling to China for the SCO summit. Today, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said in a statement that China welcomes Prime Minister Modi to China for the SCO Tianjin summit. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has put on hold his plans to travel to Washington. There was talk of big trade deals, big defense deals. It's all been put on hold. That also is a form of resistance. By putting those defense deals on hold and saying that our defense minister is temporarily putting his America plan on hold, we are sending a message. And as per sources, I'm saying it to you with all the information and the conviction at my command, ladies and gentlemen. I can share with you that India is planning to hold or put on hold talks to purchase Stryker combat vehicles, Javelin missiles, and some Boeing planes, which anyway have a huge problem. Boeing planes are very bad, from the United States. So when we are doing so, we are also defending our sovereign interest, our decision to trade only with countries that are not inimical to us. Because it cannot be one-way traffic anymore. We have to tell America it's not going to be one-way traffic. When Trump imposed 50% tariffs on India, India did not budge. There were a lot of cynics who felt, oh, this is the moment where Narendra Modi is going to blink, but he did not blink. In fact, the Prime Minister asked the people of India to increase their focus on Swadeshi and self-reliance. This is what the Prime Minister had said, which we must remember.
ऐसा कोई भी राजनीतिक दल हो, कोई भी राजनेता हो, उसने अपने संकोच को छोड़ करके देश हित में हर पल, हर बार, हर जगह देशवासियों के अंदर एक भाव जगाना होगा, और वो है हम स्वदेशी का संकल्प लें। हम उन चीजों को खरीदेंगे जिसे बनाने में किसी न किसी भारतीय का पसीना बहा है।
And there's a very large message when the Prime Minister says that it's not about Swadeshi, it's about self-reliance. And we are in a good situation where most of our consumption is domestic. Viewers, when you're in a battle like this, when the world's largest economy, the most powerful nation, wants to push you down, the only way we can win is if we are all together and we are all united. What some leaders of the opposition like Rahul Gandhi is doing at this point of time is not just worrying. It is a dangerous trend of trying to see opportunity in your nation's crisis, of trying to take advantage of the pain being inflicted on your nation, on trying to put salt over the nation's wounds. And for this, the country will not forget and the country will not forgive Rahul Gandhi. Ladies and gentlemen, India is leveraging our diplomatic ties. This is a fight we are in and our government is fighting. We're leveraging our diplomatic ties, which is why even the Chinese embassy tweeted today that India's sovereignty is non-negotiable and its foreign policy choices cannot be manipulated by other countries, no matter how significant their own ties with India are. We do not need this kind of fort from China, but it is important that China is realizing that in standing by India, its own interests are also being influenced. This is great power economics. This is great power geostrategy, where great powers, you cannot be great unless you go through challenges. Would we have gone through this challenge if we were a 1 trillion economy? No. Would we have gone through this challenge if our rate of growth had continued on the path that the Congress party had put it down to? No. Why are we facing this crisis? We are facing this. I wouldn't even call it a crisis. Why are we facing this situation? Because America is realizing that unless it puts the brakes on India's economic growth today, it is conceivable that 10 years from now, a resurgent India will put brakes on America's economic engine. That the great manufacturing base, the great intellectual capital, and the great labor force of the country coming together with the enterprise of an average Indian can change the power dynamics in the world, which is why a person like Trump, who says, I believe only in MAGA, says MEGA is bad. I say it's time for MEGA, not MAGA. MEGA will win, not MAGA. Most importantly, tonight, I want to make a prediction about Donald Trump. He's going to become extremely unpopular in America very soon. And this is not speculation on my part. I've studied the facts, understood the numbers. And I can only say this to you, that Trump is imposing tariffs on virtually every country in the world. All these tariffs imposed by the United States will significantly impact not super rich billionaire Americans like Donald Trump, but working class Americans who will pay thousands and thousands and thousands more every year in their average bills to run their households, to buy vegetables, to buy petrol, fuel, diesel, gas, and to pay for their rent. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is going to make things miserable for Americans. Tariffs will make Americans pay. All these tariffs will be paid not by the American government, but by the American people. If Trump says billions in tariffs are flowing into the US, but they are really paid by Americans, that means he's putting a tax hike on his own supporters. This is not a victory for Americans. This is going to be the biggest defeat for Americans. Trump is trying to fool the people of America that they will benefit. No, the reality is they will pay for his geopolitical blunders. What do we need to do at this point of time? We need to make this man realize that is what is really obnoxious is the shallowness and hollowness and arrogance of his approach. Which is why, once again, to everyone watching this tonight, I'm coming tonight every day putting out information to you. We're winning this. But as I just told you, we're not sitting idle. Our government, your government, is fighting every minute to make you win.